Hey guys, welcome back for my third episode review of the season. In this episode review, we are taking a look at episode 3 of season 11, A Rocky Start. And like I have been doing for my past episode reviews, we'll take a look at it first, just summarizing the episode in a brief analysis segment, and then we'll also take a look at my own thoughts on the episode, and we'll go over emotion, action, characters, and plot, and then come up with a final score out of 10 to score the episode. The episode first starts with the ninja scrambling to pack up with the little funny segment, a nice callback with Kai holding up a Fritz Donegan comic, and then they go tell Master Wu about their adventure. But first, it appears that Pixel has some new vehicles for the team, so it's suddenly revealed that Pixel spent the last month working on gigantic Samurai X cave underneath the monastery, and the explanation for nobody noticing it is because they have been playing video games this entire time. Anyways, this new Samurai X cave is pretty cool. It's very big. It has a lot of weapons and a lot of vehicles. The original bounty is in there, so is the land bounty and some other vehicles as well. So then the ninjas start on their journey and soon arrive in the Desert of Doom. They find a nice little oasis and start a picnic there, but that picnic is interrupted when the giant scarab beetle comes out of the sand. So the ninja are forced to flee onto the land bounty and their two vehicles, and sadly Cole loses his He Was Number One soda hat. And from there, the rest of the episode is pretty much a big chase and some fight scenes in which the ninja try to outrun the scarab beetle, but pretty much can't. And then after that, they find themselves stranded on a rock, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. So as usual, we'll talk about the pros, the good parts of this episode first. I thought the concept of the new Samurai X cave was really cool. The design and just how they did it, how they designed it and animated it. It was very cool, and I love the idea of the Samurai X cave now being underneath the monastery. I also liked the fight sequences with the scarab beetle. It sometimes did feel a bit drawn out or a little bit longer than needed to be, but I did think the concept behind it and just the good old-fashioned chase scene was pretty cool, and I liked how it also displayed the various weapons and features that the land bounty has as a vehicle. The ending of the episode was also a nice cliffhanger and a nice little lead into the next episode too. I enjoyed the Fritz Donegan reference too. I thought that was a nice little reference to throw in there. And seeing Pixel was also cool. I thought that it kind of fit her role well somewhat to be, developing these weapons and vehicles and stuff. So I thought that all was done pretty nicely for the most part. Unfortunately, this episode was not perfect. I'll start right off the bat. I did not like the explanation for the new Samurai X cave, although I do think the concept and the idea behind it did feel good, and it was a nice, fresh idea. I feel like it might have been better for the story just to reuse the old Samurai X cave, because it just didn't make all that sense that Pixel just suddenly made a cave underneath the monastery and no one had noticed. It just didn't really make all that much sense. Although, again, the idea behind it was cool. I don't think the execution for it was right. Some parts of this episode did feel rushed too, such as the ninja and their picnic. It just felt very, very rushed, and there could have been a little bit more interaction. I felt like that was a scene where we could have seen some more interaction, just some more good old-fashioned talking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just think in general, some parts of this episode did feel rushed, and some of the transitions just didn't really flow evenly. The episode starts out in the monastery and ends out in the middle of the desert. It did definitely feel a bit rushed, and I feel like a better transition may have helped the episode a little bit more. But anyways, moving on to final thoughts. Our 4 categories are plot, characters, action, and emotion. But again, these episodes aren't too plot-driven yet, at least. So the plot of this episode along with the next episode is basically a 2-parter. And this episode is a good old-fashioned chase sequence with the scarab beetle. So I thought it was a good idea, although it did, in the grand scheme of the season, serve as filler. I do think it was entertaining, and it still was good. So plot for the most part was good, although there were, again, as I mentioned, some issues too with the Samurai X cave and how they explained that, and it did feel rushed at times too. Characters, this episode doesn't really highlight characters all that much, so I don't really think we need to dive into that too much. It was nice to see Pixel, and that's kind of all I have to say for this. Now, moving on to the action. Action in this episode was definitely one of the high points of this episode. I really did like the fight sequences and how we saw Neo using the cannon and just the different features of the vehicles being utilized. I thought that was all very good. The action was nice. And I don't even think we need to go over emotion. These episodes aren't really emotion-centered either, so we'll just skip that one. My final rating for this episode would be a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it was bad. I do think that the action sequences were good, and it was definitely entertaining. But some stuff, as I had already mentioned, did not feel right. Some stuff was definitely rushed, as I have mentioned before, although I don't think the fight sequence was rushed at all. That did take up the majority of the episode, and I think it was right for it to do so like that. But all in all, I think this episode was decent, but not great. Thanks for watching this episode review, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share it with anyone ever you know. Let me know what your thoughts on episode 3 of season 11, A Rocky Start, is. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.